I would like to take you on a fall garden tour. Let's go. This is my back flower bed. On one end of it, I have a yellow rose. Here are some prolific marigolds and beautiful white lobelia. These are tall garden mums, and they should be ready to bloom within 2 to 3 weeks, it looks like. This fuchsia colored impatiens has been brightening this flower bed quite a lot. I love its beautiful big blooms. And my primrose has started blooming now that the temperatures have cooled down. In this container, I have some verbena that is at the end of its bloom cycle, but more should flush out soon. And this is a hellebore, which is setting some buds, white buds. How exciting! We have some repeats of other plants that I already mentioned. And on the other end of this bed, I have a red rose anchoring it. And you can see it's lost a lot of its leaves already. Here you can see my Acer tree. And let's have a closer look at this container. So it has verbena in 2 colors and also some strawberries. Here I have 3 hydrangea. 2 have performed beautifully. The one in the middle actually got nipped by the frost, as did the other, but it had no old canes left. Thus, it was very small. This is my beautiful purple salvia. And this is a tall aster, and it's been attracting pollinators. This is another beautiful perennial, really dominating this space in the fall. These 2 mounds are Marguerite daisies. They had been quite prolific in the spring and summer, but now there's only a few blooms. It has really slowed down. This is phlox that blooms in spring. Ice plant that I have in many places around my garden, and it does really well in my area. Here is a small fig tree and more rock plants like rock cress, some daylilies, and the silver curry plant that will provide winter interest here as well. And here is my yew that I trimmed into a nice bush. In this small flower bed, this is the first time I ever planted lamb's ear, and they are very, very lush. In the background, there's a lot going on. There's some vinca, some celosia, and some marigolds. I just love this beautiful pink rose. Here are some of my potted flowers. In a couple of these, I have strawberries. There are some blooms and some fruits. This here is red yarrow. And I have several varieties here of tall garden mums that have all set buds. My shade plants include this beautiful spotted laurel and this coleus in a rich color. I also wanted to show you that I have some pampas grass in bloom. I actually thought I got some bamboo cuttings, but I was mistaken. And this container does look tired. I would like to redo it with some winter plants. I wanted to showcase this one gorgeous bloom on my cup and saucer vine that I started a little later than I was hoping. So its display is nowhere near as glorious as it was last year. Let me show you the rest of my containers. Here I have some variegated ivy along with begonia. I did get beautiful ornamental peppers. When I got them, they were actually yellow, orange, and red, but as time goes on and they ripen, they're mostly red. This is my annual container, which is looking amazing. I love this impatiens. Its stunning blooms, some dichondra silver falls. And this glorious coleus. What a beautiful display. Perfect for fall. I have several containers that I planted for fall and winter interest with grasses, tricolor heather, and wandering Jew. A similar setup here with some violas to add a pop of color. And another one that has a mounded hebe and ivy added to the mix. My pride and joy is this container with ivy and vinca major. I just love the bird cage. It brings a little bit of whimsy, especially in winter when there's nothing else going on. You can see my rose garden. Some of the roses are still blooming, but definitely not as profusely as they did throughout the summer. I have many different colors, and I did talk about them in another video. I love the look of the white lobelia around the roses, especially now that they have lost a lot of their leaves. And I was hoping that they would look like this much earlier in the season. So I'm hoping that they will self-seed and next season become established much faster all on their own. Here is a look at my bamboo containers. This summer, my bamboo got completely dried up during our summer heat. The plants did not get sufficient water. I did not give up on them, and within 3 weeks, they started sending new shoots. So, this is where we are at now. You can see many new green shoots. You can see some of the yellow older canes that have survived. And then there are also some darker ones that clearly are dead. Here is a look at my fountain and the containers. I love the amount of color here. And look at this tall sedum. Beautiful fall color. In the containers, I have geraniums. I particularly like that they are resistant to some pests that I have in my garden, especially snails, slugs, stink bugs, katydids, and other insects. The big silvery bush is the cotton lavender. Here's my holly bush. Some of it is in bloom, and I already have some red berries. This looks very promising. I do hope to have some to use for my dry arrangements around Christmas time. I tried to mask this pole with a vining plant. This is a black-eyed Susan or Thunbergia. And it's supposed to be a beautiful annual, but for me it has only started blooming now in the fall. I also have some pansies, violas, and sweet alyssum. My summer raspberry bush has been producing throughout the entire season. It has been entertaining quite a few stink bugs as well. This is ice plant. It loves being on the sunny side of my garden. And this is my colorful corner. So I have quite a lot going on here. The area is dominated by this tall cosmos. which has only started blooming now in the fall. I have a lot of annuals here, such as petunias. And sweet alyssum. And I have also planted some fall and winter interest, including these beautiful pansies. The cosmos on this side hasn't set any blooms whatsoever, but I did want to share that I have some garden friends. I have many ladybugs here taking care of these other unwanted bugs. Here is a ladybug larva. On the other hand, the tall garden mums have set buds, and I expect to see them bloom within 3 or 4 weeks. This is my skinny garden bed. Here, in terms of fall interest, I have planted asters, not all of which have bloomed, coral bells or heuchera that has this beautiful foliage, more sweet alyssum. These should bloom for me all the way through the first frost, or actually all the way through hard freeze. I do have these mounding mums as well. The middle section of this flower bed has white begonia with bright green and darker foliage. There is also ajuga here. I transplanted one plant in each section in the spring, and they have spread like fire, which I love. They ought to provide a lot of winter interest for me, as I don't plan to add other plants here. In this last section of this bed, I have lamb's ear. They are so abundant, just like the vinca I planted here. The vinca do not like humid, rainy weather, and we did have about a week worth of rain, so they look kind of beat up. I underplanted violas, and I'm looking forward to them providing color during late fall and winter. Lots and lots of color here, but I do feel it's quite complementary. I feel it's not as busy as the other section I recently showed you. I just love this gazania. Is that the most stunning flower formation ever? And the color? I also have petunia here, sweet alyssum. This is osteospermum or African daisy. This is a Marguerite daisy which loves this position. This is the only one I have in my garden that has been blooming all season. Some coral bells. This is the purple salvia. And in the background, some 4 o'clocks. This is another cup and saucer vine, which was planted quite late, and there's only one bloom here. There's always another year to start earlier, right, gardeners? I love the rich display in this area. This is my evergreen alley where I've had to replace several trees. Be on the lookout for a video on trimming my Arbor Vitae hedge and creating a garden arch. I appreciate you joining me for this early fall garden tour.